Hi, this is Blake.
Hi, this is Cameron. We welcome you to yet another episode of Trust Talks. Today, we're taking a closer look at something, well, fundamental to pretty much every modern enterprise.
Absolutely.
It's a topic that goes way beyond just, IT and compliance checkboxes. We're diving into data governance trends in 2025. And really, our mission here is to cut through all the noise, break down the complexities, and show you why data governance isn't just a defensive thing anymore. Based on everything we've looked at, it's truly becoming the strategic foundation, really, a foundation of trust, innovation, and resilience for any organization that wants to, well, thrive.
That's exactly right. And if you've been thinking about data governance in the, let's say, traditional sense, maybe focused mostly on metadata management, data quality, basic access controls, you're about to see just how dramatically that whole landscape has shifted. The actual scope of what data governance covers now.
Yeah.
It's broadened so much, it really demands a completely fresh look. We're going to dig into some surprising facts about this evolution and get into why this shift is so crucial right now.
Okay, let's start right there then. Traditionally, yeah, our understanding felt pretty contained. Keep data clean, know where it is, control who sees it. Simple enough, right?
Yeah.
But the sources we've seen for this deep dive make it super clear. For 2025, that definition has just exploded. What kind of new frontiers are we talking about?
It's a total transformation, really. Data governance now stretches into some critical new areas. Think about AI model governance. This is absolutely vital now that AI systems are making core decisions. I mean, just consider a financial institution. There was a recent case, significant penalties because their AI lending model, maybe not intentionally, but it showed bias. Why? Because there wasn't proper governance around its training data. That's exactly where AI model governance comes in to stop those kinds of massive risks.
Wow, okay. So governing the AI itself, not just the data feeding it?
Precisely. And then there's data ethics and algorithmic transparency. Making sure our data practices in AI aren't just compliant, but genuinely fair, explainable, not just these sort of opaque black boxes. We also see this huge emphasis on cross-border data sovereignty. I mean, if your operations are global.
Which most are becoming.
Right.
Yeah.
Even something seemingly simple, like a customer support query handled offshore, could accidentally trigger complex data transfer rules if it's not governed properly. It gets incredibly intricate fast.
I could see that.
And beyond that, we're looking at automated policy enforcement, moving away from people checking things manually to proactive self-governing systems. And this is crucial, real-time lineage and observability, getting an instant full picture of data's journey from the source all the way to insight. So the big implication, enterprises now need a truly holistic data governance framework. This isn't just about your standard structured data anymore. It covers unstructured data, complex cloud-native setups, and definitely all those intricate AI and machine learning pipelines, which naturally leads to the big question. Why such a huge expansion, and why is it happening now?
That really is the million-dollar question, isn't it? The scale and complexity you're outlining, it's massive. So let's dive into those major shifts. Where do our sources say the biggest changes are hitting first as we look towards 2025?
Well, the first one, and maybe the most impactful shift, is that AI-driven governance is becoming the absolute norm. It has to be. Manual methods, they're just obsolete with the kind of data growth we're seeing. They simply can't keep up.
Makes sense.
So this is where AI-powered governance systems become, well, essential. They automatically discover sensitive data across all sorts of hybrid environments. That alone is a huge leap. Imagine finding PII, personal information, hidden in some obscure log file you didn't even know existed. AI can sniff that out.
Okay, that's powerful.
And what's more, these systems classify data contextually, based on how it's actually being used, not just some static tag someone applied ages ago. They can recommend policies and even auto-enforce them in real time, matching both regulations and your own internal rules. Think about automatically redacting sensitive stuff before data leaves a certain system.
Right, automatically.
Yeah. This kind of intelligent automation, it drastically cuts down the operational overhead. And crucially, it significantly boosts data trustworthiness and agility right across the organization.
That sounds like a massive efficiency game, yeah, not just ticking a compliance box. Can you give us a quick, maybe tangible example? How would this intelligent automation practically cut overhead for, say, a medium-sized e-commerce company?
Oh, absolutely. So for an e-commerce business, imagine automatically pinpointing all customer payment info across databases, cloud storage, maybe even internal analytics tools everywhere. An AI governance system could then, without anyone needing to manually step in, make sure sensitive payment card data is masked or encrypted before it gets used for, say, aggregate sales reporting.
Hmm.
That prevents accidental exposure, ensures PCI DSS compliance, all without needing a person to review every single data flow. That's a huge drop in manual work and risk.
Okay, that paints a really clear picture. Very helpful. Let's move to the second trend then. For years, like we said, many folks thought data governance was purely IT's job, maybe tucked away somewhere. But our sources point to a pretty big shift here. What's changing about who is responsible for data governance heading into 2025?
Yeah, this is a really profound organizational shift. By 2025, effective data governance is explicitly a shared responsibility. It's across IT, sure, but also legal, compliance, and this is critical to business teams themselves. What we're seeing is organizations moving to embed data stewards and data champions directly within different departments.
So people on the ground, basically.
Exactly. The people closest to how the data is actually used, what its impact is, they're directly involved in governing it. This makes sure governance is, contextual. It's much better aligned with specific business goals, not just technical ones. It's really about fostering a genuine data culture, where governance is seen as an enabler of innovation, not a bottleneck.
That sounds great in theory, but embedding stewards, changing culture, that seems like a huge undertaking for many places. What do the sources say about the hurdles?
Well, it definitely is a challenge. What our sources highlight is often resistance to change, maybe a lack of clear ownership initially. That's common. The way forward seems to be through, ongoing education, having the right incentives that link governance to actual business outcomes, and crucially, having seamless tools that really integrate into daily work so governance feels like a natural part of the job, not some extra burden piled on top.
Right, making it easy to do the right thing. That holistic approach makes a lot of sense. Okay, let's talk privacy. Trend number 3. This highlights a really key evolution. Privacy and compliance are now embedded by design, moving away from just reacting to rules to actually building privacy in from the very start.
Precisely. It's a fundamental change. Concepts like data minimization, only collecting what you absolutely need.
Which is harder than it sounds sometimes.
It is. But that plus encryption, data retention controls, they're not an afterthought anymore. They're literally baked into data pipelines from day one. Think of it like designing a building with the fire exits already planned, not trying to bolt them on after it's built.
Good analogy.
And beyond that, managing data subject rights, requests for access, consent, deletion. That whole process is becoming automated and traceable, which is just essential for global compliance. And what's really powerful here, according to the sources, are these regulatory intelligence engines. They dynamically map the evolving laws across different places. GDPR in Europe, CCPA in California, India's new DPDP Act, all these rules protecting individual data. So the enterprise of tomorrow doesn't just react to compliance rules, it truly designs for it proactively.
That proactive stance sounds critical, especially for global operations. Okay, moving to our 4th trend. This touches on something vital in our age of real-time analytics, AI decisions, real-time lineage, and data observability. It's about having that complete living map of your data's journey, knowing where it came from, where it's going, like a GPS with a full maintenance log for every bit of data.
That's a great way to put it. In today's fast-moving world, knowing data's origin, all its transformations, who accessed it, when, it's paramount. And modern data governance platforms are stepping up here. They provide these end-to-end data lineage visualizations, giving you that crystal clear map of data flow. They also offer change impact analysis, so you can actually understand the ripple effects if you update a schema or a pipeline before it breaks something downstream.
Preventing problems instead of just fixing them.
Exactly. And what's also fascinating is embedding data quality telemetry right into dashboards, real-time health checks on your data. This can catch things like silent data corruption or subtle schema changes that might break analytics later on, maybe without anyone noticing until it's too late.
Ooh, yeah, silent failures are the worst.
They are. And for AI and ML models, there's drift detection for both inputs and outputs. Imagine a self-driving car model that suddenly starts misinterpreting stop signs because the data it's seeing has subtly changed over time. Drift detection catches that kind of critical shift, helping ensure model accuracy and fairness. This whole move towards comprehensive data observability really ensures continuous improvement, full traceability, and accountability across the entire data lifecycle.
That sounds like a fundamental change in how organizations can actually trust their data day to day. Okay, Trend 5 brings us to the practical reality of modern IT, cloud native and multi-cloud considerations. I mean, most enterprises are operating in hybrid setups, multiple clouds these days. So what does this mean for how data governance actually works across these really complex environments?
Yeah, it definitely introduces some significant challenges, no question.
Yeah.
Enterprises have to manage policy consistency across potentially several cloud providers. That's not easy. Ensuring federated identity and access controls work securely across all these different environments is also critical. That sounds like a security team's ultimate puzzle box.
Definitely.
Harmonizing data classification, tagging, making sure data is categorized consistently no matter where it lives. Another big hurdle. And of course, enforcing data residency, sovereignty laws, that gets incredibly complex when your data is spread globally across different cloud platforms.
Right.
So the source material really emphasizes that modern governance platforms absolutely must be cloud agnostic, API first, and integrate smoothly with all sorts of diverse ecosystems, whether that's huge data lakes, traditional data warehouses, those increasingly popular data mesh setups, or even just various SaaS apps. The era of siloed governance tools, it's over. Integration is absolutely key.
Wow, that sounds like a monumental integration task, managing all those moving parts. Okay, our final major trend. This one really hits on the qualitative side of data, and it feels, well, truly profound. It's not just about control anymore. It's fundamentally about trust and ethics taking center stage.
This is maybe the most profound shift we see highlighted in the sources, I think. In the age of AI, the risks of using inaccurate data or biased data or data pipelines you can't even explain, they're immense. They can lead straight to catastrophic business and reputational risks simply because AI systems learn directly from that flawed data. So forward-looking organizations, they're proactively setting up things like data ethics councils to guide their practices. They're actually auditing data and AI pipelines specifically for fairness and explainability, making sure there's transparency in how decisions get made.
That's a big step.
It is. And they're meticulously documenting data usage for accountability and transparency, using tools like model cards and data cards to track the history, the provenance, the context of their AI models and data sets. The core message here is really clear. Trustworthy data governance ensures not just compliance, but crucially, human-aligned outcomes. It's about building public confidence and making sure technology actually serves humanity responsibly.
That's a powerful distinction. Human-aligned outcomes really highlights the maybe higher purpose of doing data governance well. Okay, so to bring this all home for you, the listener, what are the concrete, actionable steps you can take today to get future-ready in this evolving data governance landscape?
Well, our source material lays out 6 clear, practical steps. First, you really need to audit your current data governance maturity. That means honestly mapping out your strengths, your gaps across your people, your processes, and the technology you use. You just can't know where you need to go if you don't know where you stand right now.
Makes sense. Baseline first.
It's exact. Second, invest in AI-powered governance tools. Prioritize platforms that give you that automated discovery, the policy enforcement, the real-time observability we talked about. These are the kinds of tools that will actually scale with your data growth and complexity.
Okay.
Third, operationalize privacy. Don't just have privacy policies sitting in a binder somewhere.
Yeah.
Embed those privacy workflows right into your data pipelines, into your customer-facing apps. Make it part of how you actually operate day-to-day.
Get it off the shelf and into practice.
Right. Fourth, build cross-functional governance teams. Get compliance, security, legal, and business stakeholders involved early and keep them involved. Data governance is a team sport now. Success really depends on that collaboration.
Got it. Number 5.
Fifth, establish a data trust framework. Define clear principles, guardrails, metrics for ethical, transparent data use inside your organization. This sets the standard, the expectation for everyone.
The ethical compass.
Precisely. And finally, sixth, adopt a federated governance model. Empower your domain teams, the people working with specific data sets, give them the tools and guidelines they need to govern data locally. But crucially, make sure it's always aligns with the overall enterprise policy. This kind of balances that need for agility with centralized control.
Okay, 6 clear steps. So to sum it all up then, Data governance in 2025, it sounds like it's intelligent, it's collaborative, and it's deeply woven into the very digital fabric of how organizations run. It's really not just a defensive shield anymore, it's a strategic pillar, something that unlocks agility, builds trust, and creates resilience.
Yeah, the message from our sources is clear and frankly pretty urgent. The time to future-proof your data governance is definitely now. Weeding isn't really an option.
Absolutely. And maybe a final thought for you to chew on. If data governance truly becomes this foundation of trust, innovation, and resilience, how might ignoring these trends impact not just your compliance posture, but the very DNA of your organization's future competitiveness, its ability to innovate ethically? It's a profound question, definitely worth pondering as you move forward. Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive. We really encourage you to keep learning, keep exploring this crucial topic, and we'll connect with you again soon.